Okay, good afternoon to all the students. Today I want to take this bicameralism. Last time you have learned about legislature, no? And at that time I told you that legislature, there are two types of legislature. Number one is unicameralism and number two is bicameralism. And unicameralism means the legislature which has only one house. And number two, bicameralism, there are two houses, upper house and lower house. So today we will see bicameralism, its argument for and against. Whenever there are two things, then we just think which we have to choose, whether this is good or that. And if something is good, then we'll choose that. Similarly, we find in the different countries of the world, the countries, they choose the different types of legislature. As I have told you in the last class, number one, on the basis of their tradition and on the basis of the need also. The countries, they opt for the type of legislature. So, in many countries of the world, we find bicameralism. I have given example from India. In India, there are two houses, even in USA also, even in UK also, you will find the bicameralism. Now, there are many philosophers who had supported bicameralism, and many scholars were there who were not in favor of bicameralism. So, we will see philosophers in support of bicameralism. In your examination, HS examination, there are three types of question. Number one is MCQ, number two is SAQ, and third one is the long question. Okay. And especially in the MCQ and SAQ, you have to answer in short, in one or two words, you have to choose. So these type of questions are asked in that group, that is MCQ and SAQ. Philosophers who support the bicameralism. त्यसमा हामी धेरै देख्छौँ Lord Acton, you can read in your book also. John Stuart Mill, Lord Bryce, etc. They are in favor of bicameralism. They want that the legislature should be composed of the double house, two houses. One house is not complete. One house is not good. Legislature having one house is not good for the administration, for the country. So there should be double houses. They support the bicameralism. Similarly, we find the philosophers who are against this, against bicameralism. Many political philosophers, they said that instead of bicameralism, there should be single house, that is unicameralism. And for that, we see FBCA, one of the important political philosopher, and Benjamin Franklin, etc. So these political philosophers, they had observed the political situation, the administrative structure of the different countries of the world, and find that in many cases they supported, in many countries the government has adopted this system, bicameralism, and many they were against the bicameralism and they started or they adopted the unicameralism. Now, in today's lesson, you have to learn the bicameralism, why it is to be accepted or why it is to be followed. That is arguments for, and at the same time, in anything you will see good things and the bad thing also. मान्छेमा पनि त्यस्तै हुन्छ हैन, कतिजनाले he is a very good boy भन्छ, कतिले भन्छ he is the bad boy, he is a bad boy भनेर भन्छ, कतिले त्यो एंगलले हेर्छ, कतिले त्यो एंगल अर्को एंगल हेरिरहेको हुन्छ हैन. Similarly, here also we find the same thing. Bicameralism has also some advantages and it is also some disadvantages. Okay, now bicameralism has certain advantages, at the same time it is also certain disadvantages. And in your examination, the question is of like this: bicameralism, argument for and against it. At the same time, unicameralism, arguments for and against. Same answer. Answer is same, but you have to suppose, first you have to write, if the question is what is unicameralism, what are its advantages and disadvantages, then you just have to write first the advantages of unicameralism, then disadvantages. Similarly, here also the question is bicameralism and its arguments for and against. First, we will see why many countries of the world have accepted or adopted bicameralism. Because there are advantages. In our life also the same thing. If something is good, then we accept. If something is for the benefit us, we can accept it. हैन, त्यस्तै हुन्छ. सो बाइक्यामरिजमको हामीले एडभान्टेजेसहरु हामी हेर्छौं. नम्बर 1 हामी देख्छौं, why the bicameralism is accepted? Because it prevents the tyranny of a single chamber भनेर भनिन्छ. Now, in this topic, you will find the use of the word chamber. Chamber means you have to think it as one house. First chamber, second chamber भन्छ नि हैन. One house and second house, the upper house and the lower house. So, number 1 points in favor of bicameralism is it prevents the tyranny of a single chamber. Before this, you have learned legislature is to make the law, to pass the law, to amend the law. Now, in the legislature, laws are passed, and while passing the law, it is said that if there is only one house, if the legislature is unicameral, then there is every possibility of that single chamber becoming tyrannical, corrupted. Because there is no one, there is only one house, and that house has to pass the law, has to make the law. So, the law can be passed and the tyrannical procedure, or without taking the heed, without taking into consideration of other opinions, this legislature may pass the law. So, this bicameral, if there are two houses in the legislature, then it does not allow the single chamber to be corrupted. यहाँ चाहिँ के भन्नु चाहेको भन्दाखेरि, if there is one house, having unicameral legislature, then that unicameral legislature can make any type of law, because there is no one to protest, no one to restrict, no one to oppose. But if there are two houses, then one house takes the other. So here we see, when there are two houses in the legislature, when there are upper house and lower house, then the tyranny of a single chamber can be restricted or can be checked. So this is number 1 advantage of the bicameral legislature. Number 2 is good and sound laws are passed. it is said that if the laws are to be passed, then for that, if there are two houses, then one house discuss the bill and other house also discuss the bill. So there will be two houses to discuss the same bill. And if it is to be passed by taking into consideration or by the discussion of by the two houses, then it is said that the law will be good. That means the good laws or the sound laws can be passed. एउटा इक्जाम्पल, एउटा काम दियो, एकजना मान्छेले मात्रै गर्दाखेरि सायद उसको कतिवटा भुल होला, तर instead of that, if the responsibility of that work is given to two different persons, they may do their work in their own way, and before the submission, at the time of submission, the same things come together and there will be comparison, and after comparison, there are certain things, shortcomings of a person may be rectified by another. So when the result will be there, when the output will be there, good decisions are taken. Similarly, in the legislature also, when the two houses are there, the good and the sound laws can be passed. That is the second important argument. And third is relieves pressure. I'll just give one example. Suppose 100 kg of load is to be carried from one place to another. If there is only one person, then he has to carry 100% by himself, 100 kg of that load by himself. But if there are two persons, then the load can be divided between the two, and one can carry 50 kg, another can carry 50 kg. It will be easy for them. Similarly, here in the bicameralism also the same thing. It relieves pressure. Pressure means the legislature has to carry, has to face a lot of pressure. Why? Because in the country the laws are to be passed. And the law-making process is not a very simple thing. It is not a matter of jokes. It is not easy job. Discussion should take place. The support of the people should be sought like this, and it takes a lot of time, and a lot of things are to be discussed. Then only the law can be passed. Sometimes it happens that a country has to pass a number of laws, and it is not possible for one single chamber to pass the number of laws at a time. So sometimes it happens, as for example, in our own country, India, there are upper house and lower house. Suppose the 10 bills are to be passed in a session, then it is arrangement can be done that the 5 bills discussed in the one house, 5 bills discusses in the another house. And it is also to be remembered here that in order to pass the bill, there must be the consent of both the houses of parliament. Suppose in the Lok Sabha, to pass the bill, it takes 5 days. After having a long discussion of 5 to 10 days, the bill is passed. Simultaneously, if there is another house, then another bill may be discussed there at the same time. So within a short period of time or at the same time, 2 or 3 bills can be discussed and can be passed. India ma hamro ke huncha? Suppose a bill is placed in the Lok Sabha, it can discuss, and after passing it, it is sent to the Rajya Sabha, and within a short period of time, the same bill can be passed, because it is already passed here, and only the recommendation, only the support of the Rajya Sabha is needed. Similarly, at the same time, when the Lok Sabha is passing or discussing the bill, because of the presence of the Rajya Sabha, another bill can be discussed. So within short period of time, two different laws can be discussed. So what happens? Lok Sabha also takes the responsibility of law-making. Rajya Sabha also takes the responsibility of law-making. So the two houses, they take the responsibility. So in this way, the presence of the double houses, second chamber, or presence of the two houses in the legislature, one house relieves the pressure of another. अघि मैले इक्जाम्पल दिएँ यस्तो 100 केजीको एकैजनाले बोक्नु भन्दाखेरि दुईजनाले बराबर गर्दाखेरि it is easy. So this is also another very important argument. That means the pressure, the burden of lawmaking process is relieved by the two houses. One house relieves the pressure of another. In this way, we find the another advantages. Number 4 मा पाउँछौँ service of wise and intellectuals. अब यो चाहिँ के भनेको हेर, there are some people who are expert in different fields. Say for example, in the field of science, in the field of technology, in the field of this language, literature also, you know, and they wanted to do something for the country. They wanted to serve the country, but they do not want to come in direct contact with the politicians. They do not want to contest the election. त्यस्तो खालके मान्छे पनि हुन्छ. And if there are two houses, then the constitution of that country provides the provision of the such members in the second chamber. भन्नु मतलब चाहिँ अप्पर हाउसमा यस्तो अरेन्जमेन्ट हुन्छ, त्यो क्याटेगोरीको मान्छेहरूलाई उनीहरू पोलिटिक्समा डाइरेक्ट इलेक्सनमा भाग नलिए पनि उनीहरू they can be the member of parliament and they can serve the country. They can help the country in making of the law. र यसमा example from India. In India, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha is composed of 250 members, हैन 250 members हुन्छ. अनि out of 250 members, 12 members are nominated by the President of India from those categories, from the people who are expert in the field of science, literature, social service, etc., etc. So without contesting the election, they can be nominated as the member of parliament. They can be the member of parliament. They can be the MP. And as they are the MP, they can contribute in the lawmaking process, in the lawmaking function. That means they can also participate in the law-making process, in the law-making function. So, as they are expert in that category, in that field, so they can suggest, they can recommend, or they can give their suggestions, they can guide the other members to pass a good and sound law which will be suitable for the country. हैन त्यस्तो हुन सक्छ. त्यसैकारण चाहिँ हामी के पाउँछ यहाँनिर service of wise and intellectual. You know Sachin Tendulkar, एकजना cricketer, but he was also nominated as a member of parliament. अब उसले because of his knowledge in games and sports, हैन, he had given some suggestion also, हैन, र lawmaking काममा यो प्रकारको कामहरू उनले गर्नु सक्छ. So in the bicameralism, if there are two houses, service of wise persons, intellectual persons of the country, they get the opportunity to be the member of parliament. अर्को हामी देख्छौँ नम्बर 5 मा essential in federation. Now in class 11 you have learned about federation. Federation is a system of government in which you will find two sets of government. One government for the whole country and another government for the region or for the state. As for example, in America also, for the whole America, there is the government of USA, United States of America. At the same time, there are state governments also there. प्रत्येक स्टेटमा state government. Similarly, in India also the same thing. We have government of India, and at the same time in each and every states we have state government. As for example, government of West Bengal, Government of Sikkim, Government of Arunachal Pradesh, etc. Now, it is said that as in the federation, two sets of the government, so there is state and the union government. It is said that in the federal form, in the federation or in the federal form of government, there are different states, and these states' interests are also to be served, fulfilled. प्रत्येक राज्यको आफ्नो आफ्नो इन्ट्रेस्ट हुन्छ, आफ्नो आफ्नो निड हुन्छ, आफ्नो आफ्नो इच्छा पनि हुन्छ, आफ्नो आफ्नो डिमान्डहरू हुन्छ, अनि स्टेटको आफ्नो रिप्रेजेन्टेटिभ पनि हुन्छ. And it is said that in the upper house, the interest of the state is provided there, or interest of the state is preserved there. फेडरल फर्म अफ गभर्मेन्टमा स्टेटलाई चाहिँ स्टेटको इन्ट्रेस्ट चाहिँ अप्पर हाउसमा रिप्रेजेन्ट गर्छ भनेर भनिन्छ. अनि त्यसको बादमा हामी देख्छौँ पिपल्सको इन्ट्रेस्ट इज प्रिजर्भ इन द लोकसभा भनेर भन्छ. बिकज द लोकसभा इज द्याट हाउस इन विच द रिप्रेजेन्टेटिभ अफ द पिपल आर देयर. द पिपल दे डाइरेक्टली इलेक्ट देयर रिप्रेजेन्टेटिभ एमपी होइन. र यसरी हामी देख्छौँ. सो in the federation, the interest of the state is to be preserved. At the same time, the interest of the people should also be preserved. So, in order to preserve the interest of the state and the interest of the people, there must be two houses. So, the state's interest is preserved in the Rajya Sabha and people's representative is preserved in the Lok Sabha. So, for federal form of government, there must be bicameralism. So, federation मा चाहिँ यो हुनै पर्छ भन्ने कुरा हामी त्यहाँनिर देख्छौँ. अब हामी देख्छौँ नेक्स्टमा एडभान्टेज अफ अ पर्मानेन्ट हाउस. Advantage of a permanent house. अब यो के हो हेर यहाँनिर. Again, I will give example from India. Okay. In India, Rajya Sabha is a permanent house. Rajya Sabha, it doesn't dissolve. But the Lok Sabha is a house for 5 years term. It is not permanent. It is temporary. That means for 5 years. For 5 years, the Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha is formed, and after the expiry of the term, it dissolves. Again, 5 years. For 5 years, another term will start. You know? So, in between the two, there is a gap. That means it is not permanent. Whereas Rajya Sabha is a permanent house. Why? Because in India, there are 250 members in Rajya Sabha, and 1/3 retired after every 2 years. त्यसको मतलब चाहिँ पर्मानेन्ट नै बसि नै रहन्छ. 1/3 रिटायर हुँदै जान्छ. प्रत्येक 2 वर्ष बादमा चेन्ज हुँदै जान्छ. एउटा मान्छेको टर्म पुगेपछि उस रिटायर भएर फेरि अर्को 1/3 आउँछ. So in this way, permanent Rajya Sabha is a permanent house. Now, the advantage of a permanent house, if the legislature has bicameralism, then one house is always permanent. So, we find the advantages of a permanent house. You know, the difference between permanent and temporary. जुन कुरो चाहिँ पर्मानेन्ट छ त्यो चाहिँ स्टेबल भएर बसिरहन्छ. जुन कुरो चाहिँ टेम्पोररी छ, there is no guarantee that the same person or the same maybe will be there for 5 years. अब एउटा example म दिन्छु. In India, the election, the term of the Lok Sabha is 5 years, हैन? But there is no guarantee that the president or any Lok Sabha may continue for 5 years. In the middle, at any time, last time also I told you no confidence motion one of the important method to control the executive by the legislature, that is no confidence motion. When no confidence motion is passed, there is no option. The Lok Sabha will be dissolved. हैन त्यस्तो हुन्छ र 5 वर्षको लागि आउँछ, but there is no guarantee that they can continue for 5 years. So it is temporary. तर राज्य सभा चाहिँ पर्मानेन्ट भएको कारणले चाहिँ पर्मानेन्ट यसको जुन चाहिँ क्यारेक्टर छ त्यसको एडभान्टेज चाहिँ bicameralismले मा पाउन सक्छ. That means in the bicameral system we find the advantages of a permanent house. अर्को हामी देख्छौँ, this is important for modern government. This is important for modern government. Modern government, you know, at present government has to do a lot of things. It is said that government is responsible for a person from the cradle to the grave. From cradle means the birth and grave means the death. From the birth to death, in between the birth and death, life is there, and the government is responsible for the life of the people. And you know, government responsibility, government has to see the welfare of the people, government has to do that, do this, do that, etc., etc. And government has to provide the facility to the people. So for this purpose, government also needs this system and very good type of law, and also the export. So if such people are there, then there is the possibility for the government to serve the people. So when it is said that the arguments, those who argue in favor, they said that for the better society or for the better government, the houses must be double houses. Number one, because of time also, it is for one single house to do everything. Government has to pass a number of laws. This law also, that laws also. If a law is passed today, after a few years, the same law may not be suitable. It should be changed. Again, government should take the responsibility of amending the law. And for that purpose, double houses should be there. So when the double houses are there, the government can make a number of laws, and by this, the government can serve the people. So for the modern government also, the bicameralism is very, very important. It should be there. Now, 8th point is the possibility of representation. Okay, now it is said that if there are two houses, then different sections of the people, different communities, they may get the opportunity to represent in the government, in the legislature. I'll give the same example. In the Indian Parliament, Rajya Sabha is there, and there is the provision that some persons who are expert in the field, in different fields, even in different communities also, such persons may be nominated as the members of Parliament. That means because of the presence of the second chamber, second house, there is the place for the representation of the people of the different communities. So they can represent from this community, from that community, from this category of people, from that category of people. There is the possibility of representation if there are two houses. And not only the representation, but as they represent, they also get the opportunity to preserve their interest. एउटा कम्युनिटीबाट रिप्रेजेन्ट गर्ने मौका पायो अनि ऊ त्यहाँनिर चुप्पो लागेर बस्दैन, उसले के गर्नुपर्छ, he has to see that the interest of their community from which he or she is representing in the parliament is preserved or not. And if it is preserved, it is okay. If not preserved, then he or she has to raise the voice. For our community, this thing should be like this thing should be there, this should be there, भन्ने demand गर्नु सक्छ. That means their interests are preserved. It is said, if second chamber is there, there is an opportunity for them to preserve their interests. So in this way, what we say, in the bicameralism, there is the possibility of representation of different communities and preservation of their interest. That can be fine. Next हामी देख्छौँ trends of public opinion available. Trends of public opinion. You know, public opinion is not same all the time. It changes according to the need and according to the time. समय र खाँचो अनुसार पब्लिक ओपिनियन के हुन्छ चेन्ज हुन्छ. अब यहाँनिर म इक्जाम्पल दिन्छु. आई वान्ट टु गिभ एन इक्जाम्पल. इन इन्डिया लोकसभा द टर्म इज 5 years. And Rajya Sabha, it is permanent. Not only permanent, after every 2 years, 1/3 of the members retires, and another one third they may come. तब के हुन्छ? In the Rajya Sabha, what we see, 1/3 for 6 years they are in the they are in the parliament. जान्छ त्यो अर्को 1 seat आउँछ र as the fresh members they come to the Rajya Sabha, come to the parliament, then the government may find the opinion of the people, fresh opinion of the people. Lok Sabha ma 5 years हुन्छ टर्म. 2005 मा भयो भने 10 सम्म जान्छ. त्यो बीचमा there is no change in the government. There is no change in the Lok Sabha. The 5 members, the term of the Lok Sabha is 5 years. So for 5 years, solid 5 years, all the members will be there. In the meantime, if there is changes in the public opinion, then the same, it is said, same may not be preserved. But in the Rajya Sabha, because of the presence of the bicameralism, we find after every 2 years, new faces are there. New members come. And the new members, they express their opinion. And in this, what we see, the public opinions can be the trends of the public opinion, where the people's public opinion is going, what the people is feeling, how the people are thinking. As because of the coming of the new members in the Rajya Sabha, we find the government can get the trend of public opinion. मान्छेको विचार चाहिँ के छ? फ्रेस आएको एमपीले उसको विचारहरू त्यहाँनिर प्रकट गर्छ. त्यसो गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ गभर्मेन्टले पनि नयाँ नयाँ ओपिनियन के कसो त्यो थाहा गर्न सक्छ. यो प्रकारले हामी के पाउँछौँ? यो ट्रेन्ड अफ द पब्लिक ओपिनियन हामी एसेन्डेन्ट गर्न सक्छौँ इफ द हाउस इज डबल हाउस. नम्बर 10 मा हामी देख्छौँ ग्रोथ अफ पोलिटिकल कन्सियसनेस. अब यो चाहिँ के हो भन्दाखेरि सपोज इन Rajya Sabha 550 members, if only one house is there, 550 members are there. And Lok Sabha 250 members are there, so plus 250 members. In political field, it is said that as the number of people participates in the politics, the more and more people will grow politically. अझ एउटा म भन्छु, political consciousness means politically to be conscious what to do or what not to do. Politically what government is doing or government is not doing, and what the government should do. If all information should be taken by the people, then we say that the people are conscious. If government is doing something and the people are not supporting that, we find lack of political consciousness. If the government wants this, if the government wants to propose one system, policy, to frame the policy, there must be support from the government, from the people. If there is the support from people, then only if there is support from the people, then only government can function, government can implement the rules or the policy, हैन. त्यसैकारण चाहिँ यहाँनिर भनिन्छ more and more MPs are there, more and more representatives are there, there is more growth of political consciousness. जस्तो यहाँनिर मैले एउटा न्युमेरिकल this is just example only. एउटा मात्रै हाउस भएको भए, if there is only one house in India, only 550 members are there, हैन. प्लस 2 दुईजना अब अझै एङ्ग्लो इन्डियन कम्युनिटी रिप्रेजेन्ट हुनसक्छ, 550 मात्रै त्यहाँनिर एमपी हुन्छ. तर but because of the bicameralism, there is the presence of another house, so we find another house, that is this Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha also 250. So 550 plus 5, 6, 7, 800 MPs are there. And as what they are doing, all these are propagated to the people through media, print media, and other media, electromedia, यो सबैले चाहिँ के गर्छ, मान्छेलाई प्रभाव पर्छ, मान्छे इन्फर्मेसन पाउँछ. एउटा मान्छे भन्दा दुईजना मान्छे छ भने एउटा मान्छेले जति भन्छ दुईजना मान्छेले अलिकति बेसी नै भनिरहेको हुन्छ. त्यसरी चाहिँ के भन्छ हामी, यो if the house is bicameralism, there is the possibility of the growth of political consciousness. Okay, so these are the various advantages, various arguments in favor of bicameralism. Now, अब हामी देख्छौं arguments against. In the beginning I told you, in anything there are two character, हैन. दिनको रात कालोको सेतो त्यस्तै हो, मान्छेमा राम्रो पनि हुन्छ नराम्रो पनि हुन्छ. Anything, any subject, any topic, it has both advantages and disadvantages. एउटा जस्ट हँसाउनुको लागि भन्नु हैन, कोही बेला तिमीहरू स्टुडेन्टहरू हामी पनि है एकदम बाहिर चाहिँ हामी एकदम भयंकर हुन्छौं, घरमा चाहिँ हामी के हुन्छौं केही पनि हुँदैन. हामी एउटा भनाइ छ नि है, इनसाइड द हाउस चाहिँ हिरो, आउटसाइड चाहिँ जिरो. कोही बेला के हुन्छ, बाहिर चाहिँ हिरो, इनसाइड चाहिँ जिरो. दुईटै राम्रो पनि छ नराम्रो पनि छ र डिसएडभान्टेजेस पनि छ. Why there are many countries which has adopted unicameralism भन्दाखेरि हामी पाउँछौं, because the bicameralism has a number of disadvantages. That's why many countries they have adopted bicameralism, unicameralism instead of bicameralism, हैन. त्यस्तो हुन सक्छ. So we'll say the first advantage, first disadvantage. Many political philosophers, अघि मैले तिमीलाई बताए त्यहाँनिर, some political philosophers like Franklin, like Abbesius, हैन, they had rejected, they had criticized this theory. So why भन्दाखेरि number 1 भन्दैछ, the second chamber is useless. It is useless, हैन, and it is also dangerous, and it is confusing. यो चाहिँ के भन्दैछ, नम्बर 1 चाहिँ double house is useless, it is dangerous and confusing. Why it is useless? I'll give one example. Suppose there are two persons and one person is the most hopeless person, he doesn't know anything and is not interested at all, but the thing is to be done, हैन, काम चाहिँ गर्नु पर्यो, and that single person he does everything. Then other people say, oh, what is the use of the second person, he is useless. So even without his support also, his doing also, the things can be done. Similarly, in the bicameralism also, if the house up a lower house can do everything, or if the lower house is important, then there is no use of the second chamber. Upper house को त्यहाँनिर केही जरुरत छैन. त्यसको मतलब यो चाहिँ युजलेस हो. Why it is dangerous? Danger कति बेला हुन्छ? Suppose a law is to be passed, हैन? Law is to be passed in order to face the challenges of the situation, but because of the presence of the two houses, and it is said that it is in the bicameralism system is, if a bill is to be passed, if a law is to be passed, it is to be passed by the both the houses of parliament, by the both the houses of legislature. If it is passed by only one house, it is not passed. It is not accepted as the passed. हैन? तब dangerous कति बेला हुन्छ? One house passes the law, another house does not pass the law. But the situation wants that the particular law is to be passed. And because of the absence of the law, the situation becomes worse. Oh, so this is dangerous. If the second chamber, they stop they act as the obstacle in the way of the passing of the law, then the work cannot be done. So it is dangerous. And number 2 is confusing. Confusing भन्ने मतलब चाहिँ अब दुईजना छ भयो भने दुईजना भयो भने एकजना मान्छे मात्रै छ, he can do everything is okay, हैन? तर दुईजना छ भने चाहिँ what he wants and what other wants, so there may be confusion. So this is the number 1 disadvantage. If there are two houses, other house without doing that also, because in the unicameral legislature, even with the presence of one single house, the law can be passed in some countries. I know. What is the use of that? So it is useless. This is number 1 point. And number 2, it is more expensive. More expensive, right? Again, example from India. 550 members, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, 250 members. And you know, government has to spend money for each and every member of parliament. They are serving the country, so the government should come forward to support them, you know. So they have to pay a certain amount of money, remuneration, salary, etc. Suppose 550 members. Suppose one member, government has to spend one member 10,000 rupees. Then it may be 5 this, and here also 10, it will be 2 5 this. So this will be the total expenditure. This will be the total expenditure. Total expenditure हुन्छ. अब यहाँनिर suppose only one house is there, then only this amount of money will be spent by the government. So what we find here is, if the two houses are there, government has to spend this amount of money, but if there is only one house, the government has to spend this amount of money only. This is just example. This is only the remuneration paid to the member of parliament, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Beside this, a number of things are there. No? Just तिमीले सुन्छौ देख्छौ, whenever the session of the parliament sits for the session, all the MP they have to go to Delhi to attend the the session of the parliament, you know? And it is the responsibility of government to provide everything to them. So these are the expenses. And if the number of MPs are less, if the house is only one, then less number of members the government have to arrange, have to pay for them. So in this system, what we find, the bicameralism, because of the two houses, it is more expensive. Expensive हामी त्यहाँनिर हामी देख्न सक्छौं. अर्को हामी देख्छौं revision of law not assured. यो चाहिँ के हो भनेको पनि हेर रिभिजन अफ ल नट एस्युर्ड इन द बाइक्यामल सिस्टम देयर विल बी द इट इज सेड देयर विल बी द रिभिजन अफ द ल one house passes the bill, then immediately after passing it is sent to another house. Again another house passes the bill. First placing of the bill, discussing the bill and passing the bill. Same bill is passed in the two houses two times. Lok Sabha one time, Rajya Sabha one time. Same bill is passed. And it is said that again हामीले सुरुमा पढ्यो good and sound laws can be passed. That is one of the advantage of the bicameralism, हैन? But in actual practice this type of revision is not necessary. Why do you know? For this purpose you have to know how the laws are passed. Suppose the law is to be passed in the parliament. First the law in the form of bill is prepared by the concerned ministry or department. As for example, suppose the law is related, the bill is, it is the matter of foreign affairs. Then foreign affairs ministry is there, and within the foreign affairs ministry will find foreign ministry is there, and the number of expert officers, IFS officer, Indian Foreign Service exam pass officer, expert, experienced members are there. They prepare the bill. So at the time of preparation of the bill, expert knowledge are utilized there, expert persons are utilized there, and after preparation it is placed in the Union Cabinet. And the minister, the council of minister, they say yes, then only it is placed in the parliament. Even in the parliament also, as I have told you, in the beginning I have told you, it is not a matter of jokes. Bill pass गर्नु सजिलो केटाकेटीको खेल चाहिँ होइन. Discussion takes place. All around discussion. What happens when a bill is passed? Detailed discussion. And after the discussion it is put to vote, and when it supports the majority vote, when it gets the support of the member of parliament, then only it is to be passed. So at the time of the making of the law, a law has to go through various stages. Screening हुँदै जान्छ त्यहाँनिर, हैन? Screening हुँदै जान्छ. फ्याक्ट्रीमा र मेटेरियल हाले जस्तो नि, र मेटेरियल हाल्छ, त्यसपछि त्यहाँनिर के सेपहरू हुँदै जान्छ अन्तमा एउटा फाइनल प्रडक्ट निस्किन्छ नि, हैन? त्यस्तै हो, बिल पनि त्यस्तै हो. अनि यो पोइन्टमा चाहिँ के भन्नु चाहेको भन्दाखेरि अगेन्स्ट द बाइक्यामलिजम चाहिँ नो निड अफ द सेकेन्ड चेम्बर. त्यसमा रिभिजन हुने चान्स छैन. अलरेडी सुरुदेखि नै डिपार्टमेन्टदेखि नै युनियन क्याबिनेटदेखि नै पार्लियामेन्टमा आउँदाखेरि नै त्यो बिल चाहिँ एकदम फाइन भइसकेको हुन्छ भने त्यसलाई फेरि रिपिट गरिरहनुपर्छ भन्ने पनि छैन. सो दिस इज अनदर इम्पोर्टेन्ट डिसएडभान्टेजेस. अब हामी देख्छौँ unnecessary rival and delay. DE ढिलो. ओके, एउटा मान्छे छ, he or she can do everything by himself alone or herself, हैन? There is no need to consult others. But there are two houses. Sometimes one house passes the law, another house doesn't pass the law. And when there is such situation, then there will be dispute. There will be conflict between the first house and second house. तब के हुन्छ भने जब दुईटा हाउस छ भने चाहिँ त्यसै बित्थामा unnecessary rivalry हुन्छ. One house passes the bill, and if there is only one house, after passing the bill by that house, it is passed and it is converted into the law, हैन? तर यहाँ चाहिँ दुईटा हाउस छ नि त. कोही बेला यस्तो हुन्छ नि मान्छेलाई, आफूले सबै काम गर्छ, अब इम्प्लिमेन्ट गर्नु होइन उसलाई सोध्नुपर्छ नि, उसको पनि त भनाइ के छ जान्नु पर्यो भनेर भन्छ। एक्चुअली यहाँ सबै ठिकै भइसकेको हुन्छ है, एभ्रिथिङ इज फाइन, एभ्रिथिङ इज करेक्ट, इट इज टु बी इम्प्लिमेन्टेड, बट अब त्यो मान्छे अर्को मान्छेले चाहिँ आज भ्याउँदिनँ, अर्को दिन गरौँ न, अर्को दिन गरौँ न, यहाँ चाहिँ साह्रो परिसक्यो होइन, काम हुनु सक्नुपर्ने। Ordinary example, we can get this type of example. If everything is fine, it is to be implemented, but there is somebody and that somebody is not in favor of that. You want to delay the matter. So, यो पनि हुन सक्छ। If there are two houses, unnecessary rivalry जसको कारणले चाहिँ ढिलोपना हुन सक्छ। That is also another defect. अब हामी नेक्स्टमा पाउँछौँ ideal chamber not possible. यो चाहिँ के भनेको भन्दा ideal chamber is not possible. फर्स्ट हाउस र सेकेन्ड हाउस दुईजनाले आफ्नो आफ्नो काम गर्नुपर्छ। फर्स्ट हाउस र सेकेन्ड हाउसको आफ्नो आफ्नो काम गर्दाखेरि त्यो काम ठिकै हुन्छ, तर प्रत्येक हाउस जस्तो हुनुपर्ने त्यो चाहिँ हुँदैन। A number of situations are there, different situations are there, and they have to work according to that. जस्तो example म दिन्छु, even in India also two houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, हैन, interest of the state, interest of single state, it is to be preserved in Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, and the interest of the people is to be preserved in Lok Sabha, हैन, तर एक्चुअलमा त्यस्तो हुँदैन नि त। अब के छ भने in political science what you find, party system is very strong, हैन, party system is very strong। जस्तो अब एउटा स्टेटको एउटा निड यो छ भने पार्लियामेन्टमा गएर उसले भन्नुको लागि चाहिँ फर्स्ट he or she has to seek the consent of his or her party. If his or her party is not in favor of that, then he or she, even knowing that he or she has to do, he can't do anything. जस्तो एउटा मान्छेलाई उसको जिम्मेवारी यो उसले गर्नुपर्छ, तर उसले चाहिँ फेरि उसलाई पनि कसैले प्रभाव पारिरहेको छ भने त्यो प्रभाव पर्ने मान्छेको कन्सेन्ट नलिकन he can't do anything. उसले सम्झिन्छ यो मैले गर्नुपर्छ, तर पनि उसलाई इन्स्ट्रक्सन दिन्छ you should not do that. हैन, त्यस्तो हुन्छ। त्यसो गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ गर्नु सक्दैन। So in the bicameralism also, both the chambers, upper house, lower house, the chambers, they are not such in which they are not able to stand as they should. जस्तो उनीहरूले गर्नुपर्छ त्यस्तो चाहिँ गर्न सकेको हुँदैन, because of number of factors त्यहाँनिर छ। त्यहाँनिर त्यो कारणले चाहिँ के छ भने प्रत्येक चेम्बर, विशेष चाहिँ सेकेन्ड चेम्बर भनौँ हैन, त्यो चाहिँ त्यहाँनिर त्यति आफ्नो बुत्तामा काम गर्नु सक्ने नभएको कारणले चाहिँ यो डिमेरिट चाहिँ त्यहाँनिर हुँदैछ। र नेक्स्ट पोइन्टमा हामी जान्छौँ नम्बर 6 मा। It is said difficult to fix responsibility. Difficult to fix the responsibility भनेको दुईजना मान्छे छ भने काम सप्रियो भने मैले गर्दा, काम बिग्रियो भने चाहिँ उसले गर्दा भन्ने भएको जस्तो। अप्पर हाउस लोअर हाउसमा कन्फ्लिक्ट हुन्छ, डिले हुन्छ, अघि तिमी पढ्यौ हैन, यु हेभ लर्न द्याट, एन्ड it is difficult to fix the response. Suppose law-making function is a very important function. If the parliament is not able to pass the law, then the one house blames the other. It is because of you law cannot be passed. अर्को हाउसले भन्छ it is because of you the law is not passed. So where is the shortcoming? Where the houses are lagging behind? Which house is lagging behind? It is very difficult if there are two houses. Instead, if there is one single chamber, if there is success, Credit goes to that house. If there is failure, then the people blame that house. But because of the two houses, it is difficult to fix the responsibility. Sometimes it happens, a law is to be passed by Rajya Sabha, may not be passed by Lok Sabha. Lok Sabha is to pass the bill, it cannot pass the bill, and they also do not want to take the responsibility of the passing of the law. So in this case, the bicameralism is not good. अर्को हामी देख्छौँ नम्बर 7 मा प्रोटेक्सन अफ इन्ट्रेस्ट. इन्ट्रेस्ट यहाँ भनिन्छ नट सेक्युर्ड अर प्रिजर्भ. We have seen that because of the bicameralism, the second chamber protects the interests of the community, people, etc. No? But actually in actual practice, the protection of interest is not preserved. Why? Because I have told you, even in this point also I have told you, they have to follow the instruction given by their high command, by the party system. So instead of the interest of the community, interest of the certain things, they have to be very careful about their higher authority, about the other factors which are affecting them or other factors which they have to think. No? So what you find here, जुन कुरो चाहिँ बाइक्यामरलिजममा चाहिँ कम्युनिटीको इन्ट्रेस्ट हुन्छ, माइनोरिटीको इन्ट्रेस्ट हुन्छ भनेको हुन्छ, त्यो चाहिँ एक्चुअलीमा चाहिँ हुन सक्दैन. त्यसकारण हामी देख्छौँ what we find even in the unicameral also we find even because of the presence of in single house also interest of the people, communities are also preserved. So त्यसको मतलब चाहिँ सेकेन्ड हाउसमै मात्रै चाहिँ their interest are preserved भन्ने कुरो चाहिँ त्यहाँनिर हुँदैन. अब हामी नेक्स्ट अर्को देख्छौँ नम्बर 8 go in opposite direction है. Opposite direction मा two houses. यो एउटा एक्जाम्पल, जस्ट फर एक्जाम्पल. दुई मुखे साँप मैले त देखेको छुइनँ, सुनेको होइन. दुईटा मुख छ भने यता जानु खोज्छ, तान्नु खोज्छ, अर्कोपट्टि पनि के हुनु खोज्छ, तान्नु खोज्छ होइन. दुईपट्टि नै तान्नु खोज्छ होइन. त्यो दुईपट्टि तान्नु खोज्दाखेरि के हुन्छ भने कहाँ जान्छ त्यो पत्तो हुँदैन होइन, त्यस्तो हुन्छ. सो दुईमुखे साँप जस्तो होइन, एउटाले तान्छ अर्कोले तान्छ, त्यहाँनिर झगडा भइरहन्छ. त्यस्तै प्रकारले एनदर इक्जाम्पल, तिमीले त्यो घोडा गाडी देखेको छ नि होइन, रथ छ, दुईपट्टि घोडा लगाएको हुन्छ, यता पनि कुद्नु खोज्छ, उता पनि कुद्नु खोज्छ. र इन bicameralism also the things may happen. Same thing may happen in this bicameralism. As the two houses, they are against each other. It is not all the time, it is not so, but in many cases, one house passes the bill, other house does not pass the bill. And when the same bill is not passed by both the houses of parliament, it is not passed. Again, in case of India, though there is a provision that the President of India may convene the joint session of the Indian Parliament, होइन. त्यस्तो छ भने जोइन्ट सेसन बोलाउँछ, लोकसभा पनि राज्यको सँगै बसेर त्यो बिल फेरि डिस्कसन हुन्छ, पास हुन्छ. त्यो देयर इज द प्रोसिजर, देयर इज अ provision of settlement is also there, but it takes time. If a bill is passed by one house, if another house also passes the bill, then the bill will be passed and it is implemented, it is executed by the executive. But all the time it doesn't happen. All the time there is no such thing. Sometimes one house passes the bill, one house goes to that side, another house wants to go side, so there will be delay. So this happens. So these are the various disadvantages of the bicameralism. अब हामी यहाँनिर हेर्छौँ. Number 9, not possible to resist tyranny. First point of the in favor of bicameralism, it resists the tyranny. Against this, not possible to resist the tyranny. You know, if we compare the lower house and upper house and lower house, you'll find lower house is much more powerful, because you know the members of the lower house are elected directly by the people. That means the voice of the people is there. And the members of the upper house, they are not directly elected by the people. Sometimes they are nominated, sometimes they are appointed like that. If we take the example from India, then we find the member of Lok Sabha, they are elected directly by the people. We participate in the election of the members of parliament. And the person who wins the election can be the member of parliament for 5 years. So one MP means he is backed by a large number of people of his constituency. So his voice is the voice of the people of whole area. Now let us see the members of Rajya Sabha. Members of Rajya Sabha, in case of India, he is not elected directly by the people. He is indirectly elected by the people. And in the democracy, in the democratic form of government, what we see, the person, the representative who is directly elected by the people is more powerful or more important than the nominated or appointed or indirectly elected people. So we find the Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha, from the democratic viewpoint, we find more powerful. So yahanira हामी देख्छौं, not possible to resist the tyranny. Lower house passes the bill and it is sent to the Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha also has to pass the bill. And in the first point, the bicameral in favor said that revision will be there, but it is not so. As I have already told you, even in number also, numerical figure, number of members of parliament, if you take example from India, 550 members plus 2 Anglican community, Utapati only 250, they are also indirectly elected by the people, indirectly election ho भनेको र त्यसमा लोक सभाको जुन चाहिँ छ पावर छ, लोक सभाको इम्पोर्टेन्स छ, त्यसलाई चाहिँ tyranny भनेर भन्यो भने पनि त्यसको अगेन्स्टमा जानु सक्दैन. So what we find, these are the various points, arguments in favor and against. We have seen the bicameralism has a number of advantages. That's why many countries of the world they have adopted bicameralism. At the same time, it has also some disadvantages. That's why many countries they have protested, they have rejected it, and they have accepted unicameralism. So bicameralism को favor पनि छ, in favor पनि छ, and against मा पनि छ. अब यहाँनिर प्रश्न के आउँछ भने त्यसको मतलब if we accept the disadvantages only, then we find then the bicameralism should be stopped. But if we accept the advantages, then we find it should be continued. Now the thing is, here the question is, even in many countries, even without second chamber, the single chamber is also in operation in many countries of the world, is also in existence in many countries of the world. And even with the single legislature, the work can be done, then what is the use? So whatever disadvantages the bicameralism has, it should be on the basis of the disadvantages, if we analyze that, bicameralism should be stopped. It is not that. The thing is, a country which wants to have bicameralism, okay, but the thing is, its disadvantages should be reformed. If you want to have bicameralism, okay, but whatever disadvantages the bicameral has should be stopped, should be rectified, should be changed, or should bring reforms. That is the most important thing. Otherwise, with reforms, the bicameralism can be continued. So, in the unicameralism also the same thing. Unicameralism, if it is advantages, benefit for the country, it's okay. So, here is the importance. Our conclusion मा चाहिँ हामीले के हेर्नुपर्छ भन्दाखेरि, for the maintenance of the existence or for the existence of the bicameralism, if these things are there, all the disadvantages, it should be reformed. So, there is no necessity of the abolishment of the bicameralism. Bicameralism can be continued, but reforms should be there. Now, I just want to give you the example of the bicameral countries. Legislature, eta हामीले unicameral legislature. यो दुईटा देशहरुमा unicameral मा हेर तिमीले, if you go to Spain, even New Zealand also, Finland also, यहाँ देख्छौं USA भयो, UK भयो, India भयो, and important यसमा हामी के देख्छौं, if you find other Denmark, Greece, Turkey, Burma, Myanmar. So these are some of the countries which have bicameral legislature, and these are the countries which have unicameral legislature. So with this, I want to conclude today's lesson, and the lesson bicameralism. And this question is also important for your 2021 examination. So I just want to give you one homework. Last time also I have given homeworks. The question is, what is bicameralism, and discuss its arguments for and against. So you can add here, what is bicameralism, discuss arguments for and against it. So this is the question. What is bicameralism? Our question mark should be there. And discuss arguments for and against it. 2 plus 6 marks, that is A. So next time I will teach you judiciary. And Roma Miss is also teaching other subjects. So you have to learn, you have to be serious in your home, and when the curtain will lift up, then when you go to your class, when you go to school, you'll see all this, and other teachers will also teach you. Okay?